Hello, hello.
Hello, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much for jumping on. Our team is getting on now. It is an absolute pleasure and an honor to have you tonight.
Thank you.
Um, Absolutely. So we're going to give everyone about one more minute to hop on, and then we're going to go ahead and get started.
All right. Sounds good.
Yes, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to go ahead and get started. We want to respect our special guest time. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tiffany Phillips, and I would just like to thank our great leaders here of Legacy Wealth Builders, Robert and Quinn, for making sure that we have top notch education, guys. And it's an absolute privilege to be able to go on to IML TV and see this gentleman and learn from him, to be able to access swipe coins and see how he sees the charts, and also get the opportunity to see his trades on web analyzer. He's just everywhere. So that should let you guys know the magnitude and the power that we have in front of us right now. We have none other than Crypto Picasso, who is an absolute legend in this field. I don't want to take up too much more time. Let me go ahead and get out of the way of greatness. Picasso, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me pretty good?
Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear, and I am going to figure out how to let you share your screen.
I think I can share it. Let me see. Yeah, we're good.
Oh, well, there we go. All right, I'll mute myself out.
All right. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Definitely thank you guys for having me on the call. For a little bit about myself, for you guys that don't know me, my name is Brian Shaw. I go by Crypto Picasso. I'm 42 years old. I live in Costa Rica. I've been trading since 2008, and I've been trading just cryptocurrencies since 2013. So this is my specialty. It's kind of interesting because when I started out trading, like most people that embark on the journey of trading, I wasn't too profitable. And I didn't really understand why for many years. And it wasn't until I found the cryptocurrency markets that I started to become more profitable, because I started to understand how the markets were actually working. So when I found, let me kind of show you guys this chart real quick. This is Bitcoin right now. We're getting a nice little volume push up right here. We caught about 800 pips overnight last night. So definitely the markets are starting to move a little bit more. But what we have going on here is a cycle, right? Like this is a cycle that played out since 2017, where the market went, substantially, basically from a couple $100 up to almost $20,000, and then retraced about 84, 85%, depending on what chart you look at. And so this is where we're currently at in Bitcoin right now. When I found Bitcoin, Bitcoin was here back in 2013, where Bitcoin had just completed this cycle, or I hadn't actually completed it when I found it. It completed its parabolic rise up in this area here. Okay. Now I had been trading, and I've been trading gold and stocks and futures and Forex, and during this time, and then all of a sudden Bitcoin caught my attention because it was worth more than $1,000 per Bitcoin. And it was really like, wow, what is this Bitcoin thing? And I just really dove into the whole cryptocurrency space at that time and started mining and started trading altcoins and really figuring out what Bitcoin is all about. And just by doing that, it tuned me into what this technology is and what it's capable of as far as financially and also like the utility that it serves. And it was about halfway through this cycle that we were about here that it was about halfway through that cycle that it kind of occurred to me when I saw this chart that, okay, wait a minute, this is exactly how I've been trading for years. This is what the markets are doing right now in cryptocurrency. And it all just started to make sense to me. Cryptocurrency, I can say that cryptocurrency, it changed my life financially, but also changed my game. Like it taught me how to trade because it showed me everything that I had been doing wrong for years and years and years in the markets. And it really made me realize that the markets themselves are just a cycle of loss, like a real big cycle of an emotional market cycle that plays out over and over. It actually plays out in all markets. You just don't notice it all the time because it mostly happens on higher time frames, like where NASDAQ played out this cycle and Amazon played out this cycle, and it took like 10 years for the whole cycle. Gold played out this cycle, and it took 40 years to play out. So go ahead and move right there. So it took like 40 years for gold to play out the cycle. So it's not really as noticeable as in cryptocurrency. So when I discovered this cycle was playing out in cryptocurrency, it started to really make sense to me. How I was trading from an emotional standpoint, and I wasn't really being disciplined and using technical analysis wisely, and I had poor risk management. And when you combine those things together, most people lose. And then it started occurring to me, like here when I was trading forex, back then, this was a piece of the puzzle that also made sense to me because here just the average forex broker, FXCM, tells you right on their website here that CFDs are complex instruments, high risk of losing money. 76.88% of retail investors accounts lose money when trading on their provider. So they're telling you right here on their front page that 3/4 of 75% or more people who embark on the road of trading in high leverage fail and they lose their money. So, and I was losing money for years, and I understood now that the markets were becoming a cycle, and we're printing this cycle in the chart. And I kind of get deep in depth with that with some of my teachings because the reality of why that is happening is because there's only one thing consistent in any market that we'll be trading. Like I could show you any chart and I'll find structure in there that's similar because all charts, doesn't matter the market, the time frame, the year, whatever, the one thing that they all have in common is the emotions of the traders that were trading. So that's the standard throughout all markets. When you start to realize it, that the emotions of the traders are the one thing that's consistently mappable and has a relationship to Fibonacci, and it really has a strong relationship to Elliott wave theory and Fibonacci combined in cryptocurrency. Now, cryptocurrency goes through these crazy cycles because we have such a combination here of like highly disruptive technology that serves such utility and limited supply. So when you combine those two things, we're talking about a revolutionary technology that's going to change global finance, and there's only so many to go around. So it goes through these pushes, these pumps. And so like what you can see here now, I'm gonna go back to logarithmic and reset the chart for you guys, is that Bitcoin, even though it basically went from $1 to 1,100, back to 166, then up to 20,000, and then back to 3,000, right around about there, it's actually still on a higher time frame trending up. Okay, Bitcoin is still trending up because of what it is. It's actually, we're gonna look back on this. This is gonna be like an S-curve adoption model where, every now and then a technology comes into our life that has a curve of mass adoption into our society. Everything from the telephone to the microwave to internet itself. Now we have cryptocurrency technology that's built on top of the internet. So it's trending up overall, and we're just seeing these bubbles of boom and bust as people become aware of it and go through these emotions of that happens with the crowd. So now's the time really where Bitcoin is kind of like right here again, right in this part of the cycle, where we are, take it off logarithmic and kind of show you again. where we are finishing up this cycle, and we're starting to show signs that the market is turning around again. Okay. Now there's money to be made in cryptocurrency, whether up or down. I mean, we launched Swipe Coin in May of last year, and in just 11 months, basically since back here in this tight range, in this downward cycle, and then in this range, in this structure right here, we were able to pull. We just passed 20,000 pips for 11 months worth of trading through Swipe Coin. Now, the reason that we've been able to do that, though, is cryptocurrency markets are a little bit different when you're trading them in the MetaTrader 4 environment, because they are extremely volatile. And for mostly for most Forex pairs, they're so stable where they only trade within a certain range. When they expand out of that range, it's usually like 100 pips, maybe 200 pips. So the standard kind of trades that people are getting within Forex are like a 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio, where you're risking like 20 pips to get 20 pips, or risking 20 pips to get 40 pips. That's usually standard in trading Forex. In cryptocurrency, we are really looking for bigger swings, like 300 pips, 500 pips, like 800 pips, like we just got last night. Because the markets are extremely volatile, and they go through this huge price discovery because of what cryptocurrency is. These are the only markets that you can do this and catch like huge. I mean, maybe US 30 because it swings a lot, but the contract size is way bigger, so it makes it seem like you're gaining more. But in reality, to catch an 800 pip move in like a few hours, you don't really see that in too many markets, and you really don't have the opportunity to place yourself in front of a trend to catch a 6,000% return in a non-leveraged position. So that's really what the beautiful thing of it is about cryptocurrency, and that's what we're educating everybody on, is that there's a lot of ways to make money in this space. You can trade it now in MetaTrader 4, just like a Forex pair. You can trade it on the exchange and actually have possession of these non-physical tokens. And also you can trade altcoins against Bitcoin to make more Bitcoin. You can do mining. You can even lend your Bitcoin out on the exchange just to other margin traders. So I've just been in this space full time since 2013, and it's really led me to become a very successful trader in this space. Also to understand but what made it all work for me is understanding this, and this is the logic that you can apply to any market. Like, some guys that aren't really doing Swipe Coin, they applied this logic to Forex recently, and they told me their game has completely changed. By just understanding that the markets are going to be a cycle of loss, and to understand how you're going to win in these markets, you have to understand where the loss is occurring and pull a winning situation when everybody else is losing or the majority is losing. So that's the way that we're playing this game with Swipe Coin. We really see that these markets are turning around for potential long-term gains over the next few years to actually have the tokens. But in the meantime, whatever direction it's going here, or whatever little setup it gives us, we're trading it in MetaTrader 4 through the Swipe Coin app. So what's really exciting, though, is that for the last 11 months, we've got over 20,000 pips with just me, one trader, scanning these markets, right, and giving swing trades. Now, swing trades, for you guys maybe that are new, a swing trade is considered a longer time frame hold, like anywhere from a few days to maybe a few weeks. So that's really what we're looking for. We're looking for 300 pips, 500 pips, maybe even 1,000 pips within a few days to a few weeks time frame. Now, that has all been achieved with 20,000 pips with just one trader, me, scanning the market in that type of trading environment. I've actually gotten together with Stephen Hooley, who made the Bounce Back web analyzer and the Bounce Back and the web analyzer. And I gave him my strategy parameters for cryptocurrency, and he made an algorithm to scan the cryptocurrency markets. And we created, I'm going to show you guys right here. Now this data on the left isn't valid because we're actually still fine tuning things, but it's basically coming out very soon within the next few days, if not next week, where now within this platform, I'm giving you guys a strategy to scalp the markets too, to be able to pull the same kind of setups that you're getting in Forex, like 1-to-1, 1-to-2 ratios. I'm going to give you guys that through this application as well. for free. This is like just added extra value that I'm adding to SwipeCoin, because I realized that even though we're getting a lot of pips through the SwipeCoin app, that a lot of people who are new to trading aren't comfortable with holding a trade for more than a day. A lot of new traders, they just want to be in and out of the market and just kind of get their bag and get their profit and get out. So, and there's a lot of other competitive, products and services out there to do that. So I really wanted to give both flavors. I wanted to give people swing trades and also give people the same type of situation of what you're getting in Forex with the SwipeCoin package or with the digital currency package. Because if you choose the digital package, I don't want you to feel like you can't do scalping anymore, or like you just feel like you're only going to do swing trades. So definitely adding the best of both worlds to really make the digital package and SwipeCoin have a lot of value. And that's just like that's the earning side of it, right? Like we're actually earning a lot of pips here within SwipeCoin. The learning side of it is that every day, Monday through Friday, I'm doing classes in iMarkets Live TV, basically breaking down to everybody, training them on how to use this utility, how to use this tool, and also marking up the charts, like what we're looking at for the week, for the, for the day even, or for the coming months, or maybe what altcoins that we're thinking about investing in that look like they're going to increase against Bitcoin, or just bringing the whole piece of the puzzle together to help you guys understand the money flow in the space and how this all works. Because these once I found cryptocurrency markets, I stopped trading everything else. Like I don't trade Forex anymore. I don't trade gold, silver, or stocks anymore. I will be doing futures soon with Christopher Terry because he wants to bring me on as a master trader for the futures thing. So that'll be exciting. But I have found just so much opportunity in cryptocurrency that I've stuck just in this space where I understand it so much that there's a lot of opportunity here. Like I'm not looking for 20 pips, 40 pips anymore. Like I want hundreds of pips. I want to be able to catch those big moves that the market makes. And cryptocurrency gives us that opportunity to gain in the MetaTrader 4 environment. But the thing that it gives us that other markets don't is the opportunity to actually place ourselves in front of the next coming trend. Okay, like when we start to look at this on the week again, on a logarithmic chart, I really feel, through my technical analysis and from being in this space for 6 years, I really feel like Bitcoin just completed another market cycle, and we are basically right here, where we may even make it enough. We may go back to 3,500 again, but it doesn't mean that the game's over. That means that we're just finding support there to start a whole nother journey up over the next few years. Now, this is all basically fundamentally, like the mechanics of how all this is happening, is that Bitcoin comes into creation by mining, right? So, and the miners, they work all their computer power to get a reward of Bitcoin when it comes into creation. Now, that amount of Bitcoin that comes into creation as the reward gets cut in half every 4 years. So that means, like right now, let's say, for an example, 10 Bitcoins is the reward. Miners are making roughly 50 grand, right, on like a reward. If the mining reward gets cut in half and they only get 5 Bitcoins, do you think that they're going to start making 25 grand? No. The market adjusts. Like miners it'll become too expensive for some miners to mine, and they'll fall off the network, and other people will come in as miners fall off the network. It actually becomes a little easier, and other people will join the network. And then the supply and demand, like the way that this is actually designed through the protocol to create a scarcity every 4 years and have a limited supply and create such a huge utility of a technology. This is a recipe for a huge, huge pump. I mean, this is like, cryptocurrency is insane when it gets going. I mean, if I look back over here on Bitstamp, which has the most data to date, but basically we can see here that the first time that Bitcoin did this, from basically roughly around $2. Now, mind you, this is from $2 all the way up to about 1,100, which is like 45,000, 46,000% in 700 days, like 2 years or so. Now, before here at $2, there was another pump that we don't see that happened on a smaller exchange that's gone. That went from like nothing, like a penny, to $2.50 and back to $2, or basically, no, it went to like almost $12 and then back to $2. So Bitcoin's been through this boom and bust and boom and bust, but it keeps growing and growing and growing. And this cycle here, like 45,000%. This one here, basically from where it bottomed out, went about 10,000%, 11,000%. I really do see Bitcoin working its way up. I mean, just off a simple supply and demand and the utility it serves, working its way up into the hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next coming years. So now's really the time to get educated on this and potentially change your life. I mean, I got into Bitcoin here, rolled it all through here, understood what was going on, invested heavily in it here, made a bunch of altcoin trades in here to make more Bitcoin. And then when Bitcoin went up, I mean, to catch 6,000% return on compounded Bitcoin right here completely changed my life. So now's the time that this is starting to give the opportunity again for growth, okay? And to be in tune to these things can really up your game for trading. And also, I don't want to get people all that fear of missing out, but like this is almost like a couple times in a lifetime opportunity to be part of something like that grows substantially like this. Like we never could own a piece of microwave technology. We couldn't own a piece of cell phone technology. We were all consumers of these things that took over our lives, right? Like we didn't really have, we could maybe trade a stock of a company that dealt in that space, but we never could really own a piece of the technology. Here, we can actually own a piece of this global payment technology and like just what it does. I mean, just the fact that like, just think about the market cap of gold, right? Trillions and trillions of dollars. And gold, if you wanted to, cross borders or like leave a country with, $100,000 in gold or a couple $1,000,000 in gold, it would be impossible to physically do that. With cryptocurrency, you can have anywhere from $1 to billions and billions of dollars on a USB device, or just with a passcode in your mind memorized, and nobody knows that you have it. So you can cross borders. You can break it down to fractions of micropayments. I mean, you can't take a gold bar down to the store and flake off little, flakes of gold to pay for stuff. So the market cap in gold, it makes pretty things and shiny stuff, and it's good for electronics, but as a store of wealth and value to be able to transfer from place to place in a growing digital world, it's kind of losing its, appeal. So now we're at a point where Bitcoin's growing and growing. And right now, like Bitcoin has like the market cap of Starbucks. So, there's so much room for growth here, honestly, like for money to come into the space, because the way that the Bitcoin price is formed is by market cap, which is basically the money in the space. Okay, this number right here, market cap of Bitcoin, divided by circulating supply. Okay, and so as this number over here grows, this number over here is not going to grow. They're not printing more Bitcoin. Like the US dollar, it gets, there's so much inflation, they just print more and more and more to the point where, the dollar doesn't buy what it used to be able to buy at all. So Bitcoin is going to be something that changes the game and holds generational wealth, and we're at the early stages of it. So it's a really exciting time to just even educate yourself about it and what's going on. And also, if you're part of iMarkets Live, get in and you want to learn and earn while you earn, to get in on catching these pips through the SwipeCoin app. Because if you guys don't have the SwipeCoin app, I don't have my cord here real quick, but I'm going to show you that basically, I'm sure you're probably familiar with Swipe Trades, but it's the same developers, real simple to use. The trades come through the app. Actually, let me get my... Okay, don't see myself. The trades come through the app. And I definitely give you guys like education to explain. I don't want people to just like follow blindly. I want people to understand the logic behind the trade. So I give a nice chart explaining the setup, and then usually a 30-second video. And then all these values you can copy and paste right in the MetaTrader 4. And then I basically keep you guys in tune with the trade. What I'm doing as far as in the chat here, the broadcast, I don't use Telegram for this. I don't use Pip Talk for this. Like, to keep you guys in tune with the trade, what's going on, managing the trade, managing your risk, what we're looking for next, to kind of like explain and educate you along the way and keep in tune with trade updates. Everything comes right directly through the chat on the app. Okay, so I'm definitely like, posting results in here, giving you guys charts and setups, logic as to why we're doing, what we're looking for. So you're learning as we're taking these trades. And so that's this side of it. Okay, there's also a video library on here that has a lot of videos. I mean, there's also a lot of videos on my IML TV. So if you're serious about like absorbing a lot of content, I have like 6 years worth of experience just in this field of trading these coins. And I give a lot of that to you guys right here in this first like 12 videos. Is like the first 12 videos is an 18-hour boot camp course that I used to sell, but I actually put it in here for free so you guys know how I'm thinking and how I've been trading these coins. So that way, as we're doing this, you can kind of relate to how I see these markets, because I trade these markets a little bit differently than a lot of people trade. Just because I always use multiple time frame analysis. Everything goes back to the market cycle. And the psychology of the market is really what it's all about. Like understanding where, when the market does what it's going to do, where the loss is going to occur. And that's where we want to like understand where to pull a win out of the market. So understanding my logic and how I'm trading is very important so that you can start to think like that when we're trading these markets. And I gave you a lot of the education here through these videos in this library. And then also on IML TV, I'm on there Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. 10 a.m. Eastern. Yeah. So definitely look forward to like, educating you guys more on cryptocurrency and, giving you guys some really good signals through SwipeCoin. And just want to, now's the time to plant your flag. This is the kind of thing, this is what it really comes down to, is that cryptocurrency, more than any other market, runs off of a crowd psychology. So those emotions of the crowd, that psychological market cycle, is what pushes the price up. So as we start to trend and the price gets higher and higher, more and more people are going to be asking you about Bitcoin, and they're going to be coming into the space. So even the fact that you're thinking about, wanting to know about crypto at this time shows that you are like one of the smarter investors that are, ready to plant your flag early so when those people come in, you can also be there to give them guidance in this space and also be there to educate them for the process, because this space is going to grow significantly. And a lot of people are going to be jumping on the digital package because it's also one of the cheaper entries into iMarkets Live on the monthly. So definitely, I want to introduce myself to everybody and let you guys know that, I'm here to train your teams. I want to make sure that you guys are getting the most out of the analysis and out of the products, because that's what counts. We want happy, satisfied customers that are catching pips and happy, because success grows. Results speak for themselves. So let's see if you guys have any questions over here.
I know Google had a question. Google, can you go ahead and unmute yourself?
Okay. Hi, Mr. Picasso.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So I had a question on risk management. Since this is a very volatile pair, we know like with Forex, we would do like a 0.01 per $100. How does it work with the crypto? And then the second question was how the pips are calculated.
Okay, so I use half the risk as Forex. So for every $200, you could use a 0.01, because you can basically cut it in half. So if you had $200, instead of doing a 0.02, you would just do a 0.01.
Okay.
So because we're usually getting more pips out of the market, so you don't have to get as much risk. You don't have to use as much risk.
Okay, so a 0.01 can hold your account even if it's a swing trade for days. It can manage the ups and downs and.
Yeah, because what I often recommend is that you, especially if you if you don't have the availability to set a twin trade or like three, split your risk into several positions, then you really want to just go for the first take profit, because you don't want to have too much time during the ups and downs of the markets. Because I usually give, like, if I give a swing trade, I'm usually giving like a take profit one of maybe 100 or a couple hundred pips, and then that take profit three is usually like the big number.
Okay, and with the pips, how do you guys calculate your pips?
For every dollar Bitcoin moves is 1 pip.
Okay.
For every $1 that Bitcoin moves, it's pretty simple. Now that is through most standard brokers. With other brokers, the contract size might be smaller, so it might be a little bit different when you like if you were to. It's the same pip movement. You might not see, like, for 100 pip move on a one lot, you might not see $1,000, because the actual contract size is smaller. But what I found, mostly the standard for the brokers that are being used is the 10 contract size CFD, which gives us $1 per pip. For every dollar Bitcoin moves is 1 pip.
Okay. I think those were the questions that I had on my notes. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, do we have anybody else? Don't be shy, guys.
Yeah, I would say if you guys want to know more in depth about the space and about what Bitcoin should be doing over the next 3 months, check my IML TV from yesterday, because we entered a new 3-month candle as of the first yesterday, or actually it's today now today is the second. So as the first, we entered a new monthly 3-month candle, and Bitcoin, I basically gave a 3-month outlook in that yesterday. And the first thing I was calling for was a run to 5,000. So we're basically like, we just did exactly what we thought. We're on the road to, I think, staying in this zone for another week, and then probably failing and going back down towards 4,000. So we'll see what happens over the next coming week. But if you guys are already part of iMarkets Live TV and you have access to the Swipecoin channel, come check me out tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern.
All right, well, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to do a one-on-one training with our team. I can personally say I was a little bit intimidated by the crypto world, but yourself and I believe Curtis is taking away the anxiety. So I can honestly say I'm going to move forward and begin to study it and add swipe coins. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. If you guys want any more trainings, just let me know. I'll be happy to train you guys, your whole team, and make sure you guys are getting the most out of these products.
Absolutely. I will let our leaders, Robert and Quinn, know. Again, thanks so much for your time. And if you don't have anything else, we will let you go.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's all I have for tonight. You guys have a good night.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.